There we go, Jiminy Crickets. Welcome back, you guys, and thank you so much for coming back. This is our trending topics, and y'all, this is called Cray Cray for the real, not the play. You know why I say that? Because Noah, who is my little grandbaby, he is a trip, and he will say stuff like that all the time, and he cracks me up. And then if I say it, he's like, "That ain't how you say it." He's a mess. I will tell you the truth. He is a mess. He's a mess. He's a mess. But anyway, today I wanted to bring up the topic of we were talking about Ozempic and the use of it and how it's not for glam. You know, there was a lot of people using Ozempic for glam, and so as I mentioned before, for many of you, my name is Dina Marie, and I want to welcome you back to this second episode in a segment in our episode of Dina Marie Live this week. This is the trending topics, insight on diabetic medication, Ozempic, balancing blood sugar, and weight loss. So, welcome back, you guys. Now, I provide you with updates and insight and support for individuals living with diabetes and many other things I talk about. But because I specifically suffer with diabetes and have learned how to manage it and have lost plenty of weight with it, I've been blessed and thankful, and I'm very thankful about it. It gets very difficult to manage it. As you may or may not know, my mother, she passed away of kidney failure due to complications from diabetes. So her last words to me before she passed away was, "Dina, do not let this happen to you." And I still hear those words to this day. So they resonate with me. And because they resonated with me, at the time, I was still at my highest weight, I was at 323. And now at my lowest weight, I'm at 170. So basically, I lost the whole person. And with all that being said, I remember when I first moved to California, my driver's license says 190. So I'm still 20 pounds down from that. But I don't have no shame to this game. The bottom line is that we all have to strive to stay healthy. We talk about, especially after COVID, we talk about self-love. We talk about self-care, things of that nature with one another. And so it's so important that we learn things about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You might have things going on with you that you just feel like you're afraid to even talk about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you need to deal with whatever it is. It don't matter if it's HIV, AIDS, diabetes, cancer, whatever it is. You know, they have plenty of medication nowadays out there on the market for people who have AIDS and HIV that become undetectable. And I have a relative that I have communicated with who's shared with these things with me, and I found it astounding that it was the way it was. Matter of fact, I work in healthcare IT, and when I'm on assignments, I was out in New York and I worked in infectious diseases, and there were thousands of people that came through there daily in the city of New York that had AIDS that are undetectable because they're on the medicine and they're not even telling their partner. So, you know what? Y'all better educate yourself. Excuse me, didn't mean to do that. You better educate yourself about these things because if it affects you, it affects you. You see what I'm saying? And any and everything about your family life and whatnot. But just learn these things, strap up. But anyway, moving on, because we're not talking about that this week, Jesus. But what we is talking about, okay, is that we're diving into an intriguing topic, Ozempic, which is an injectable an injectable medication known for its impact on the reducing of blood sugar levels and the potential weight loss effects. Now, I'm here in living proof. I used to think that there wasn't going to be anything that helped me lose weight because I felt like it was just too hard, very difficult. And I never forget when this doctor put me on this drug, I I didn't notice anything because insulin, for people who take insulin, that's completely different than what Ozempic is. Ozempic is an injectable, and it is considered. It's an injectable med for diabetes, but it is for people who have type 2 diabetes, which type 2 diabetes typically is the one without insulin. Now, I was on insulin when I was pregnant because insulin does not cross over the placenta and it doesn't affect the baby. It only affects the blood sugar of the mother. So that's the reason why they take you off of all of the oral meds and injectables if you're pregnant and put you on an insulin dosage, because it will still help, but it will not affect the baby 9 times out of 10. But with that, basically, as I'm saying, it's an injectable medication known for the impact that it has for the blood sugar and the weight loss. And as I'm explaining today, I want to explore the positive effects of diabetic drugs like Ozempic, including its implications for non-diabetics seeking weight loss. So anyway, let's just get started about the first and foremost thing is, if for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, you are suffering with diabetes, just do not be upset. We know that you can live with diabetes and be successful in everything you want to be in. Let's just shed some light on Ozempic and its primary purpose. For those of you who are being diagnosed with diabetes now, you should be happy that you're in a time in which technology has advanced so much that you're not having to deal with some of those drugs that I remember having to deal with early on when I first found out I had diabetes. My son is 28, so technically I was diagnosed with diabetes a few months prior to me getting pregnant with him. And so my point is that was 28 years ago. And they used to have these pills that would make you swell up and get fat. And, it was just defeating the damn purpose of the diabetes, your blood sugar. So anyway, Ozempic belongs to a class of medications called GLP. GLP-1 or GLP-1 receptor or receptor ag- agnostics. And it's designed to help regulate blood sugar levels, especially with people, like I said, with type 2 diabetes. So it stimulates the release of insulin. Um, and basically what that means is taking Ozempic is designed to help regulate the blood sugar. But what it does is for many individuals with type 2 diabetes struggling with weight loss as well. So Ozempic has been found to have like a positive effect in this area. Not only that, but studies have shown that individuals take Ozempic and they might experience significant weight loss as a result of the medication's influence on the appetite. And let me tell y'all, I take mine every Monday, theoretically. Sometimes I forget. So if I forget, I take it on the day I remember and a week from there. But you take it once a week. The pen comes with 4 injections, which is for a month. And today, I took it last night because I forgot Monday and Tuesday. Okay. But anyway, so I took it last night. And today, when I woke up, I waited until almost 2 o'clock to eat because I mean, whatever neuron in the brain that it affects for me, it works something awful, Paul, because I don't want to eat a doggone thing, nothing. Okay, I will keep like little pieces of candy in my refrigerator, uh, and I put it in my snack bag if I'm going out so that if I get low, I can grab it and eat it right quick and bring it up so that I can grab something that's more dependable, like a sandwich or crackers and cheese or peanut butter and an apple or something healthy, because it will make me literally not be hungry until like a day or two before it runs out. So, in other words, if I take it from Monday to Monday, by Saturday, maybe late Saturday, I'll get a little hungry and I'll have a craving for something and I'll eat it. But what I will say is that, you know, it carries on to uh, that next week because sometimes I just don't have a taste for it. But if you get your food regulated correctly, and like now I have apples and I keep peaches. The peaches are really, really good this year. Fresh peaches, nectarines, plums, all of them are really good. I don't know if it's because We had a lot of rain in California. I don't even know, or if it was a lot of heat in Florida. I don't know what, but whatever, they're really good. The oranges, everything is really good. Bananas, all of it. So I keep it because I rather have that than chocolate, but I keep both chocolate and fruit. But I regulate myself because again, I don't have an appetite, so I don't worry about overeating any of this stuff because I don't want to eat it. So, with that being said, because the Ozempic has the GLP-1 receptor, it and that's what makes it work. It's designed to help regulate blood sugar levels in people with type 2 diabetes. And what it does is it stimulates the release of insulin and reduces the production of glucose in the liver. And so, even if you were told at one point, oh, you don't produce insulin or you're not making insulin, well, when you get on this particular injection, it actually helps you to produce that insulin, which is awesome because part of that tells me that one, I have insulin that's actually working, and when it works, it makes me not have an appetite. A lot of people have been trying that GoPro diet because they say it's for insulin resistant people. And insulin resistance is also a factor that many doctors have dealt with diabetics that create resistance for you to even work with the insulin A in your own body, and also insulin that's injected by the actual insulin medication. So the good thing about Ozempic is that it is kind of um, bring playing down that stigma of resistance because it's actually utilizing the insulin in your body. So it makes me feel good because when I lost weight, it helped, and now being on the Ozempic has helped me quite a bit. I will say that because it had such a positive effect on weight loss, studies have shown that individuals taking Ozempic, you know, have not only lost weight, but it has also gone out to celebrities. You know, I love Kyle Richards. Kyle Richards was on Little House on the Prairie, and sometimes I'm stuck back in Little House on the Prairie days because I love Little House on the Prairie. I like little shows like that because it was so wholesome. Anyway, so Kyle Richards, they claim was on it, and then she said she wasn't taking it. She said she'd been prescribed it, but she wasn't using it. But you know, nobody knows what people do behind closed doors. The bottom line is that one thing that I read was by Raven-Symoné, who was that's so Raven, the child actress. She basically um, borderline borderline and type 2 and all that stuff. You know, they give them names, but basically they're saying watch out because if you exceed a certain weight, you're going to be diabetic, especially in your older age. But anyway, she was saying that she didn't, if you do what you do to lose weight. That's what we all say. Do what you do. But her main point was, what my point was, is that if you are a non diabetic, you know, and you've gained weight and your doctor gave it to you as a prescription, shame on him, number one, because there were so many of us out here looking for those Ozempic that are diabetics that have to have it. We couldn't find it because y'all was so quick to buy it. Now, with that being said, some people said they didn't know what it was. Okay. But regardless, it's important to note that while Ozempic has shown weight loss effects, it's a primary prescribed to manage blood sugar levels in individuals with type 2 diabetes. And the weight loss observation that's been made can be an additional benefit for the diabetics because 9 times out of 10, most people probably need to regulate their weight because they, have been affected by their weight as well. And that could be why their sugars are out of control sometimes. But the weight loss and the curbing of the appetite essentially will bring you back under control, hopefully. But it's essential that no matter who you are and why you're out here trying to find out more about Ozempic, that you consult with your healthcare professional, your PC, primary care physician, PCP, or your primary doctor that you go to, a professional, just so that you're going to be able to understand if Ozempic is even suitable for you and your specific health needs. Because you can get into something that you shouldn't be getting into, and lo and behold, Next thing you know, you got issues, right? So you don't want to create issues by trying to get into something that you don't have no business taking if you haven't basically understood or checked with the professional. Okay. But just to discuss the Ozempic for weight loss in non-diabetic individuals, for instance. Now, yes, as I mentioned, it has gained a lot of attention as a potential for weight management, especially for those struggling with obesity. However, yet again, it's crucial to emphasize that using Ozempic is solely for weight loss purposes should be approached with caution and under the guidance of a healthcare professional. And even if they provide that, that doesn't mean that it's something you should use. Because just think about it like this. Let's say you don't have insulin resistance, but you take this medicine. It's a possibility that you not eating, your insulin will drop and you could go into a diabetic coma. Either way, so you want to be careful with that. But also for non-diabetic individuals, just consider that Ozempic for weight loss, you should be aware that it's a medication and it is specifically approved and designed for diabetics. And so it is used to manage that diabetes. So using it off label for weight loss, it can have a completely different consideration as well as potential side effects that need to be discussed with the healthcare provider. Like I said, like low blood sugar, because you can die from low blood sugar. But just keep in mind, you guys, again, I'm Dina Marie, your host, but I want you to remember that weight loss should be approached holistically, preferably, because if you don't have any medical issue, including diabetes, you're a balanced diet is in regular exercise, even though nobody wants to hear that, nobody ever wants to deal with it, nobody likes dealing with it. And I get that. I understand that that can sometimes be a huge, huge problem for people. But basically, when it comes down to it, you definitely want to make sure that, you pay attention to your body because you don't want to give yourself uh, a sense of saying, oh, yeah, I can lose weight and da 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 da. But you can't. You can't use that for weight loss if, in fact, that is not what you're supposed to be doing with it. You got to be careful, everybody. You definitely got to be careful in the way that you manage your weight loss journey. But moreover, as I wrap up this particular segment of our episode today, just know that it's clear that Ozempic and there's similar diabetic medicines out there that can have positive effects on both blood sugar and weight management. It's important that you remember that these medications they should be used as prescribed and under the supervision of a doctor, particularly when you're considered off label. And just for those of you who I say off label, basically that means that off label you don't have a prescription for it, you don't have a medical need for it, you are taking it off label. Off label use for non-diabetic weight loss is not necessarily the the reason for the season, you know what I'm saying? So please be careful as you guys journey into your weight loss uh extravaganza, and be careful about that. But I just want to thank you for joining me on this segment of Dina Marie Live in our trending topics. And if you found this information valuable, like I've asked before, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm doing things a little bit differently. Those of you following me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you already are following me. But I am actually shooting this out on my Instagram story. So I will put a link that is enabled and is functionable. So you can click that link and it'll bring you right on over here to my YouTube. So I want you to go ahead and like and subscribe if you will. I sure appreciate you. And I'll be right back with Each One Teach One in our next segment of Dina Marie Live. Thank you. You guys are bomb.